Kia ora team, welcome to another episode on the podcast, and today's guest is an absolute legend. I got to sit down with Alicia Mabey. Now Alicia, based down in Timaru, she's the founder and owner and coach in Motivating Me, and it's a business all around well-being, physical well-being, mental well-being, nutrition, and just helping you just get moving. You know, we've all got one body, let's use it, and her whole target and audience is around, well, it's anyone. How do we just keep getting active? How do we get fit? How do we just push through hurdles and get our bodies moving? And so we talked all about health and well-being, her business, going from being a teacher and being into this full time, starting classes with 3 people, and now it's expanded to 70 people, 150 people. It's a really, really motivating conversation. We talked about coming back from injury. She came back from a snapped Achilles. It is fascinating. I took lots from it. I'm going to get started on this journey. You should too. It's a good podcast. Lock in. Alicia, thanks so much for giving up your evening to hop on and have a yarn on the podcast. I don't know how many kind of podcasts you've done, but, they're always a bit of fun.
Yeah, cheers, Brad. I've done a few back in the day. I recorded my own ones, but it's been quite a few years, so great to be on board with you.
If you've recorded your own ones, is it always, I find this, if I ever feature on another podcast, it's always weird being on the other side of being asked questions.
I know. And it's, you can go off on all different tangents too, because you're not getting asked questions. So quite good though, sort of you go with the flow, but it's great when you got questions firing at you and
Totally, yeah. I always love it when someone asks, is there any prep or anything you want, like any questions beforehand? And I'm always like, no, because I don't know where we're going.
And I think that's the whole purpose, and it's I think it's the most interesting podcast I've listened to is people that we start talking and then it takes us on different journeys, and I think it's better engagement as well. So
totally. Well, that's
not lining up too many questions for me. Let's just go with the flow.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of a long form podcast. I do have to acknowledge that the red curtain in the background. You're giving my background a bit of a run for its money. You know,
oh, very, very suave there. They're very old curtains in an old historic house we're doing up, so they might actually stay. Nothing else is really staying in here, but there we go. It looks quite dramatic, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, it does. It really does. Hey, well, tell me about that. Like, if you've got in this house, you're doing it up. Have you done that before? Is this the first time you've had a do up?
No. We've always loved character homes, and we've got 5 children, and we've been under the pump previously leading up to purchasing this house, trying to pay mortgages and had a rental property, and then actually a bit of an interesting journey with my health burning out a little bit. Within 6 months, I snapped my Achilles, I got pneumonia and glandular fever, and also not long ago, my dad had passed away, and I thought, my gosh, all we're doing is working our butts off, trying to service all these mortgages, spending not much quality time with the children. And we decided, you know what, let's just make the most of each and every day. We sold the properties, we have one mortgage and a bigger home for our family, and we're just going to spend more quality time together and do up this big beast of a house.
Isn't it a shame though that like it took that for the realization? And I feel like it happens to all of us, right? It takes some big event, and not always negative, but sometimes a negative event or a series of events for us to kind of snap out of the rat race and realize our bodies are important, our health is important, our family's important, you know?
I know. And I think, and that's that silver lining, like even in the darkest of night, somewhere there's a wee star shining bright. And I guess when you go through a really tough time, there is some positive that we'll take away from that, and sometimes it's really hard to see that. But for me, it was a great time to reflect and sit down as a family and make some changes, and it's been fantastic. It's a lot better lifestyle balance, and there's more to life than just trying to think about the future too much as well. Like I think we're trying to plan ahead so much, but not actually living in the moment. So we've kind of just changed it up just a wee bit.
And like I speak on behalf of myself here too, but there'll be so many people listening to this that are in that kind of season right now of just, they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It is just madness. It's whether it is something like a health related event or the busyness of life or stresses of work, whatever it might be. And it can be really hard when you're in the middle of something to have hope for getting out of that season, you know?
And it's a vicious cycle, isn't it? It's a snowball effect.
Mm.
And like you said earlier, it's not until there's a wee wake up call or a lesson to be learned. But so long as I don't know, so long as we learn for our lessons, because we're going to make mistakes, all of us do. And yeah, sometimes we're fortunate enough to come out the other side and go, actually, let's make some positive changes.
Mm.
Yeah, at times it is pretty hard to see that light, but sometimes we might need people to remind us too if we can't see it ourselves.
Mm. Yeah. I, I don't know if you've spoken on this much publicly. You probably have, but in terms of snapping your Achilles, like that's a gnarly injury.
Yeah. Oh,
How did you?
not.
Was that this year or the last
No,
couple of
no,
years?
it was oh gosh, it's almost 2 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
I thought I'd get back into squash, and I'm doing lots of running and other sports, so I'm relatively pretty fit, to be honest. And I thought, yep, good as gold. I'll get back into squash. In my head, I thought I was still a B grader, but 5 children later, probably 20 years later, the old body just didn't quite agree with it. So yeah, snapped Achilles. And it's definitely a sound that you don't forget quickly, that sound.
It's like a
Pretty much
snapping sound, right?
yeah, like a gunshot, like bang. And I turned around and I thought she had smacked me with her squash racket. It felt like I got hit, the sound. And yeah, straight away when you've done your Achilles. And of course, when you've got your own health and wellness business, you've got 5 children and you are trying to pull it all together, you think, gosh, how am I going to get out of this one?
Mm.
And again, another learning curve, another lesson, and just another, my goalpost changed. I didn't fail in my goals. I just had to move the goalpost a wee bit and focus on the parts of the body that still worked, upper body and core, and problem solve quite a lot.
And that's it, eh? Like being willing to pivot is so important, eh? Whether it's business, whether it's our health, whether it's well-being, whatever it might be, even in the workforce. Like I feel like we are quite as humans, we don't like pivoting that much, do we? We don't like shifting the goalpost because it means change. It means something different. It's not our normal routine, you know?
And we're creatures of habit, aren't we?
Mm.
And sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves. In fact, I think we're the hardest on ourselves than anyone else, and we think we've failed. We think we've failed in that achievement. But being okay to, like you said, shift the goalpost and go, okay, for whatever reason, this is what's happened. Like I've got 2 choices in how I tackle this. And yeah, going down that line of just being open, also probably asking for help when times, whether it's physical health for me. I had one of my children starting school and I couldn't drive a vehicle. So sometimes it's asking for physical help, asking for emotional help, or whatever help it is. We don't like seeing like we're failing in life or needing help. But I always say at some stage, all of us will need help. And if we're willing to ask for help, in time, those people around us will also feel comfortable to ask for help if they've seen that you've needed help along the way as well. We're only human.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Like, why do you think we as humans don't like asking for help? I mean, I can totally relate.
I don't know. I don't know whether Kiwis are quite headstrong and determined that, I don't know.
I don't know if it's if it's pride or if it's fear of vulnerability. I don't know.
Yeah, true. Fear of vulnerability, fear of judgment, maybe, that we were going to be judged. And I guess too, as we get older and we go through experiences, positive and negative, we learn, the big picture of things too, and learn less about, give less worries about what people think of us and how they judge us, and learning just to be happy in our own skin and make our own choices and be okay with that. And I guess that probably comes with age, but it also comes through those hard times, learning what makes us tick and, taking it bad.
It's so true, and I know I'm also as I think I said to you, I'm a primary school teacher by trade, and I know you've had a teaching background as well. And I always see that in kids, there's this, I had a podcast earlier today where we talked about something similar, but like in kids, there's this shameless, like, I don't know, curiosity and no fear of the world in so many ways. But as you get to my end, year 6, you kind of see it start creeping in. And then definitely, because I know you did a high school teaching, right? You
Yeah.
definitely see it come in there. And it's just such a shame that that's what happens. Like, you think about your young one running through the supermarket in a Superman costume with no fear in the world and no care to like, don't even want to say, yeah, I'm here when you call in the role. It's just such a shame that that kind of happens to us as humans, eh?
Yeah, definitely. And I think whether we're comparing ourselves to other people, trying to fit in, and I guess it's that sense of self-worth and understanding and knowing who we are. And when we get to the point where we actually know who we are, we're not trying to please people and trying to be in someone who we're not. But it is. It's definitely. I think it's finding our own feet and building that self confidence and just backing yourself. Like you are enough and you are capable. That sense of self belief, which can be driven out of us through comparing ourselves to others. Or I find in my line of work when people approach me to get back into fitness and health, people compare what they used to be able to do, and whether that was from 20 years ago before they had children. They're like, oh, I used to run marathons, but it's like, that's really good to know. But let's just work on where we are right now. Let's just identify. And sometimes it can be really hard and really confronting to pause and actually self-reflect on where we're at right now, accept where we are right now, and then set some goals that may be different to your past goals, and be okay with those small steps and not trying to be this perfect person and this live a perfect life. And I think, where we compare ourselves to others, that's a huge detriment to our success.
Yeah, well, I really like what you say, and we'll totally get into the journey and into motivating me and how that business took off. But I know that's one of the first things that you've got up there is that it's about progress, not perfection, right? And how you talk about like health being like a jigsaw, like where it's like there's these different things that all make up well-being and health. But you're so right. We compare gosh, this might turn into a live health therapy session for me. But like you compare to what things were like or how other people are. And we do that in all sorts of lines of work, but specifically around health and well-being. And it's really freeing, I think, for people listening to know that like, oh, hang on, I don't need to like attain something spectacular. I can just take little steps in a direction.
And not comparing, my mountain, like your own mountain to someone else's mountain. So if someone's not in the workforce and their goal is to put themselves out there and apply and start putting their CVs out there, that's movement up into the top of the mountain to get a job. And someone else's mountain could be CEO of the company. So not comparing, everyone's mountains, their own mountains, and whether it's in work, life, relationships, health, just focusing on the peak of your mountain that you're trying to climb. And being okay that, remember, there's a couple of steps forward, slide back a few. You haven't failed. You'll learn along the way.
Yeah, 100%. And for you then, like, I have great respect for my fellow teachers out there in the world and have been there and done that. For you, when did you realize, and what was it that helped you realize that the mountain you were on, let's carry on that analogy of being a teacher and inspiring young people and encouraging them, where you realized there was a pivot going to start to happen in your life into this venture you're now in and this passion you now have? Like, was there something that shifted that for you? Like in particular, was it a combination of things? Like, what was it that made you decide to climb even higher? Or, well, I won't say even higher, but climb in a different direction.
Again, we talked about earlier how things, and whether it's positive, negative experiences, make us change and stop and change our goalposts. I think I was a high school teacher. I was teaching PE, health and science, and then I stopped to have my first 3 children quite young. And at that time, I was actually I was quite young, got married young, had children young, and I hadn't found myself then. And I was trying to please and be a perfect housewife and be a perfect mum. And looking back, it's only in self-reflection I've noticed this. When I look back now in that time in my 20s, my mid to late 20s into 30s, I wasn't doing anything for myself. I wasn't putting my needs first. And at the time I felt selfish. I just thought I was just serving and help everybody else around me. And learning that, because eventually you'll burn out and you lose your self-identity. In reflection too, the children, all they saw was me just serving and helping and, providing for them, but not actually following my own dreams. And then going through life changes, I went through divorce, jumped on Tinder, found a loving new husband, amazing husband, and a small town also going through divorce. That was always interesting because people with these judgments, and so you kind of got to get, learn less about, worry less about what people thought of you. And that was when I realized, Shivers, I need to make sure that I am the best version of me. I need to be the best version of me as a mum, as a partner, as a friend, and that's also making sure I'm filling my cup. And that's when I thought I'd move down the lines of what I love working with is people. And I'd started some part-time work as a Les Mills gym instructor and a personal trainer at the local gym, which is awesome. And that, again, being brave and taking those opportunities has led me into so many different avenues that I head down now. And again, I wouldn't have learnt that if I didn't have those upsets and those changes. It wasn't great at the time, but I've learnt so much from that. And again, my goalposts changed, and I decided that I'd move into sort of more of a management role. Went back into full-time work. Again, love the sport, love the people, love students. So I worked as a local director of sport in a high school here, Craigie Diocesan, locally in Timaru. And that was awesome. Love that. Didn't have to do all the marking.
No reports to write.
No, but I still got to work with students, and in particular children that were applying themselves to sport and seeing them push out of their comfort zone and grow. So that was awesome. I went at that time, again, another huge, I guess, a hurdle, an obstacle, but also a lesson, and something that at the time wish it didn't happen, but I've taken a lot from it, as my dad was really terminally ill at the time during the stage where I remarried and had my other two children. And that was when COVID kicked in, again, a time of change. We don't like change, and a challenging time, an uncertain time. And at that time, I was visiting my dad every day in the healthcare with dementia and muscular dystrophy, seeing him deteriorate, and that stopped. I couldn't see my dad, and I couldn't go to the gym, which was a really good outlet for me. And that's just when I was like, man, if I'm struggling doing those things that make me feel like I'm contributing and part of society and filling my cup, there'll be other people out there struggling. And this is when my zero plans to start a business started accidentally.
Love it.
Zero plans, zero knowledge how to run a business.
Yeah.
And so basically COVID kicked in. I was at home and I thought, man, I used to be a gym instructor and personal trainer. I might just jump on Facebook and just start taking free live workouts every morning. And if one person joins me and they move their body, or they get off the bed, or be inspired, or open up their curtains, that's fantastic. And this happened every day during that first lockdown. And the Breeze radio station here locally got hold of me and said, look, can you talk on the radio each day and help people realise that there are some positives happening, and how to get through this uncertain time. So again, this whole horrible situation where we're in COVID and I couldn't do my things that filled my cup. Being open-minded, being positive, and challenging yourself has led to me speaking on the radio for months, and then every week for years after that. And of course, people reached out to me and said, Alicia, you should turn this into a business. Like, I'm tuning in every morning. I would pay to do your home workouts. I was like, oh. Then the whole, oh gosh, I feel bad charging people. It's a really tough time, and that almost self-sabotage. I didn't want to put myself out there in case I failed. And sure enough, I thought, bugger it, why not? Started my platform, an online platform, and it's grown immensely. I've got men and women all around New Zealand and abroad. I've got 4 people who contract and they do workouts as well. So we load 12 a week. And we are motivating people not to be perfect, but just to progress, to move their body. And like I mentioned earlier, with my dad's poor health and seeing this incredibly talented sports person, a businessman, like an incredible man in his early 60s, deteriorate and not be able to move his body like he used to. I thought, every day that I wake up, I'm going to make the most of every day if my body can move. And that's what I've taken to classes and group fitness, is that our body may not work like it used to. And we might have injuries, we might have restrictions, but let's just focus on the parts that we can do and what we can do to keep that body moving forward. Being okay that we may not be able to do high impact, or we may not be able to run or play squash or whatever it is, but there'll be something out there that enables you to move your body, be part of something, be part of a community, and just appreciate, every day that we wake up is a bloody privilege. And
Yeah, that that has just hit me like a ton of bricks. I really mean that. That's what when I came across you on social media, I know that your brand looks fantastic and it looks really well done. So this is a compliment when I say it still looks really just homebrew, in the sense of like anyone can join and be a part of what you're doing, as opposed to it's only for those with that go to Lululemon and whatever it is. But it's just so true that, like, man, my thought process right now, as you say that, is I am wasting my days in my physical activity. That's my gut reaction. And I think back to me, like, being really sporty and active in high school and even out of school and things like that. And I think I'm probably not the only one listening to that's thinking that right now. Like, wow, every day is a bloody privilege. Like the fact that we can stand up and walk. I just lost my granddad to something very similar, actually. Like the last year and a half of his life, he was in a chair strapped to it because he had broken his hip and couldn't move from it. And also a very sporty but also clever man that, dementia happened to. So, it's just like, wow, we've got this body for however many years, and sometimes we really just waste it.
It is. I think that's why, like, I love working with people, like real people. Like when people say, look, I'm really struggling, I've got injuries, I've got limitations, my mental health's not that good, I've been really fit, I'm on and off the fitness bandwagon. We just want to feel like we're having success, that we're succeeding. And I think this is why a lot of people cringe when they hear the word goal setting, because they've set unrealistic goals in the past and we fail. So, and we've got to be having fun in what we do with our exercise, and not following what our friends are doing or our neighbours are up to, or your workmates, or what you used to be able to do. Is finding something that actually agrees with your body where you're at right now. If we're really stressed, doing that really high intensity go stuff is going to keep us in that really fatigued burnout phase. So being okay that a 5-minute walk, if you haven't walked or done anything a week, a 5-minute walk is 100% progress on last week.
Yeah.
But yet we might think we've failed because we used to run each day. Well, that's progress. We haven't been doing things. So rather than focusing on what we haven't done, focusing on what we can do. It's that whole positive mindset, which I know it's thrown out there so much, but it's exactly it. It's just focusing on small steps, and small steps add up to big steps. And often there's a really cool analogy that I use when I do presentations with workplaces. If you visualize, like, say you've got a goal, any goal. It could be the goal of drinking more water, getting hydrated. Okay, so currently you're drinking 100 mils a day, next to nothing. And then you think, shivers, I should, what everyone says, I should, my friend, what I read online, I should be drinking 3 litres a day, and that's your goal at the top. And if you think about how we're going to tackle that goal, we've got 2 options, I believe. When I look at a goal that I want to achieve, I've got 2 choices. Goal 1 and goal 2. Goal ladder, there's a ladder. This ladder, same goal at the top, has got 10 steps to the top. And, of course, if it's a 10-metre ladder, they're 1-metre rungs. So it's quite big steps. But impatient us want to get there quicker. So quite often we want to take ladder 1. But ladder 2, I encourage people to take in past experiences. Ladder 2 has got 20 rungs, but the rungs are only 50 centimetres apart, half a metre. Like, you can see it, you can reach out, you can touch that. And when we take ladder 2 in any goal, we reach, we touch, we grab, we move up the ladder 1 rung. And it feels good. Like we have had that sense of achievement. It could be that you're now drinking 200 mils of water a day. It's progress. But if we set ourselves a really unrealistic goal where it's so hard to reach, and if we miss that run, that's a meter up, and we slip back further, we lose confidence when we drop back down. But instead of reaching up and having these unrealistic ladders and steps, and it's so hard to see, let's just unpack it and make tiny little steps. And then it's more consistent, and you can actually move up that ladder. And it may take longer. Habits take, 6 to 8 weeks to create. It's just about bite-sized pieces, being okay with progress, not trying to be perfect, and eventually building up to that goal eventually.
Yeah. And that's and we talk about that as primary school teachers, well, our teachers in general, like kind of this idea of SMART goals or similar. You know, the second one being like measurable. Yeah, like they are measurable and attainable. You know, like I so can relate. You know, part of my health journey, and people on the podcast have heard this before, but I had a crazy incident 3 years ago where I had a heart attack as a 26 at the time. And
wow.
And it wasn't a normal type of heart attack. This might interest you with the physiology and, you know, your background, but mine was it was called coronary dissection or something. So I had a tear in my artery. It caused a temporary blood clot and then unclotted. But in that time, troponin rose, and it was enough of an injury to cause a minor bit of damage. But like when they went through with anyway, I'm giving the big background here, but like all the arteries were normal and clean and everything, and the echoes were normal. It was just this one-off, it's called SCAD. It's quite a rare type of heart attack that mostly affects women, believe it or not. I'm in the minority. But, and so... Yeah, but so for me, the recovery was, 6 months off, and then you can go back to fitness as normal. But here I am 3 years later, and I used to run 7Ks at sub 5 minute, things. To whereas now I run 3Ks and I'm gassed. I'm running at like 5 minutes 50, and I'm really, really disheartened by that. But that's because I'm comparing, and I think people listen to this, hopefully this is helpful. I'm comparing former Brad to me now, whereas I can't run 10Ks at 5 minute Ks anymore, even though I kind of want to be able to do that again. But I'm getting disheartened at what I'm at now. You know what I mean? Like, so I think people can relate to that, because it's like you so remember things.
And it can also stop you then starting again, because if that goal is so high, that can stop you even starting, because we're so scared of failing.
Totally happens to me. I'll do that one run and I'll go, oh, nah, I can't run anymore. I'll give it a go again in 2 weeks, which is terrible.
And it's not to say, the thing is, it's not to say that in time we're going to reach those goals, or it could just move in a different tangent. But yeah, that can be a big reason why we don't start, is we're scared of failing.
100%. Tell me then about like mindset, because I think something that I've found, and apologies for everyone at home, but yes, I am turning this into Brad's help session here. This is my plan all along: get a free session and call it a podcast.
Love it.
Kidding. But no, mindset's huge, right? Like even for me, any exercise post heart injury was the majority of the battle was up here, and I know you've seen that with injury, right? Same with your Achilles, and same with people having injuries, especially injuries. How are you, in terms of motivating me and kind of your approach to mentoring and coaching through injury and coming back and having confidence in your body again? What's your process for that and in that for people that are in that space?
I think the main thing is to listen, actually listen to your body. And like I know like when I snapped my Achilles, I followed it like in the past when I'd done injuries which weren't major, I wouldn't probably do my physio appointments, exercises, and I wouldn't probably do what I should.
Yeah, classic.
I guess the reason why you want to get back moving is a big driving force. Like, why do we want to move our body? Why do we want to exercise? If you're chasing a dress size, a number on the scales, that the drive and the want to do it's got to be greater. So if you think about the reason why I want to exercise is I want to be the strongest version of myself. And I know if I need to be strong, I need to listen to my body, and I need to build up slowly. So if I re-rupture my Achilles, if you push yourself too hard and not listen to your body, because your body is so clever at telling you things. Your body will tell you more than you probably realize. But quite often we forget about it. We push on. We don't have rest days. So listening to your body has helped. Following things by the T has helped. And also, I must admit, like when I was cleared to do the exercises, I had such a mental, like it's like a split personality. I had like a good monkey and bad monkey on my shoulder, right?
Yeah.
Good monkey's like, you've been cleared by the physio. You're not going, like, if you're going up into a calf raise, you're not going to snap your Achilles. But the other one is the fear of it happening again.
Yep.
And I take this analogy and whether it's returning from injury and that fear of something happening to us, and it's about that self-talk, whether it's internal or external, is that telling yourself you're actually okay, you will get through this, you're being cleared by the physio, you've done the exercises, and it's not going to happen again. Like the chance of it happening is so slim, but it's that whole focusing on the negatives. But that little good monkey, bad monkey on your shoulders, you get that every day. Like I had that today when I was running. I'm trying to get faster at running.
Yeah.
And I was like running and I was like, part of me is like, oh, I could just stop, I could just walk home. And I was like, oh, gosh, I'm not going to get fitter if you do this. And there's just this constant like, you can do it. No, you can't. And I guess it's who wins, which monkey is the louder monkey. And when I did the coast to coast in 2016, I had my 3 young children, and the same mentality. I was doing the goat pass, run.
Yeah.
My reason to do that race was to beat my brother. I didn't even know, to be honest, I didn't even know which mountain you ran over. Ill prepared. This is prior to me what I do now. This is why I designed personalized running programs, because I didn't do what I should have done. Anyway, got to the West Coast, and I thought I'll tackle this mountain run with my brother. My goal was to beat my brother. Very competitive family. Got there the day before, didn't even know which mountain range we're running over. They said, I was like, sweet, okay. I'd done 3 10K runs prior to this 34K mountain run. And anyway, I thought, no, I should be good. I'm right. I back myself here. Started the run, and all I wanted to do, my driving force was to beat my brother. So he had like a green cap on. So I was running the whole time. And each time I wasn't worried about anyone else around me. I had my goal in mind. And I remember like running through that goat pass, and I was like rolling my ankles, and I was like this split person now, this split little monkey saying, give up, Alicia. Your brother's like 500 meters ahead. You've done 2 runs. This is unrealistic. But then I got into a mindset where I'm like, this monkey is so loud telling me to give up. So I started chanting out loud when no one's around me, I'm strong and will succeed, like corny as.
Yeah, cool.
But I was like, I don't believe I'm going to. So I've got to say it. And I've got to say it that many times I start believing it. So basically, that's what I did. I was tackling the mountains, and as I passed people, I'd start saying it internally. I'm strong and will succeed. Anyway, I ended up doing the goat pass. I ended up breaking a record and winning it females. But I was gutted. I didn't beat my bloody brother. I didn't care about winning it. And the thing is that from that, that driving force, and that's what made me start realizing that with the exercise, it feels like you've got a good monkey and a bad monkey. Self-doubt, whether it's with the exercise or applying for a new job, there's that self-doubt, and then there's that confidence, and it's who's the louder voice. And then leading on from that, I got my thyroid. I got really, really lethargic, got quite unwell, and I actually absolutely buggered my body physically, like I burnt out. And I've now got thyroid issues because I went from 0 to nothing. And another big learning curve, another hurdle that's made me realize that you've got to listen to your body. And now I help people not burn out for that reason. So again, I could have looked at that and go, that sucks. I'm on medication every day for the rest of my life now. Or I've learned now, how can I help other people safely build up and return to running and build up that intensity so they don't they don't have implications and injuries or illnesses or inconvenience things that lead on, after the race or after that event. And so there's two big learnings from that was how do you safely, realistically build up that fitness again? And the second thing is, of course, is, that's self-talk. I think that was when I realised the power of self-talk during that run in the mountains.
Whether it's internal or external, right? But it's so true. I think we do. We have that's such a good analogy with the monkeys. Like you have these voices in your head that are telling you one thing or the other. For you, like, I know that you're learning these lessons, as we all are, through life experiences, and as we get older, it's like, man, I wish I knew that then, and I wish I knew this then, and and I know that a part of kind of the mahi you do and the work you do is you go and do like there's some expos and you do go talk to kids and you talk to high schools and things like that. Like, is that a big focus on some of the things you present when you are presenting, especially to younger audiences, like instilling these good mindsets now before? Because I feel like genuinely, not all, but a lot of people are quite active up until their 20s, and then that's whether it's the life of work starts or having a family starts or whatever, but you don't have those, I don't know, the time or the energy or the ability to be as fit or physically active as you are. And so if you don't have a strong mindset about fitness at a younger age, I can see how easily it is to lose that priority, I guess.
Yeah. And it's that whole, I use the analogy, I'm a real visual person. So
I love this. So am I. I love these analogies. Yeah. That's the only way I can understand.
Okay, so let's think of a watering can. So this is how I explain to people, whether I'm working with corporate or young children or any age really. I say, let's think about a plastic watering can. Like a plastic watering can you can get from Mitre 10 with that white nozzle on the end that can pop off with the dog chews. So if you think about your body, your energy is that watering can. So that's you, and the water inside it is your energy. And I guess when you're younger, like you're talking about when you're younger in your 20s, you've got less stresses and energy that you're pouring out so much, right? So you're like, when children are born, like when I watch my 4 and 6 year old, they literally run around the house. They don't walk to the kitchen. They run. They've got energy. They're watering can, top to the top, absolutely top. And they don't have responsibilities like going to work or planning what's for dinner or financial stresses or relationship stresses. Like they've got very little energy that they're having to pour out places. But as we hit late teens, 20s, early 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on, we have to start pouring from our watering can. And it's all well and good. That's life. You can't not pour out. You've got to be responsible. You've got responsibilities and you've got energy that is given. And when that balance is wrong, when we are giving and when we are pouring out so much water out of your watering can, eventually there's no water in that watering can. So for a while it's okay. Like we're struggling, we're more stressed. But then eventually, if you think about a plastic watering can sitting outside with no water in it, a plastic watering can in the heat of the sun, no water, it just cracks. And when we crack, that's our mental health and our physical health. Like we have just got nothing more to give. And we don't want to be the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. We want to identify like, shivers, this balance is wrong. I'm doing nothing for me. I'm not working the hours. I'm staying longer. I'm not stopping for a lunch break. I'm not connecting with friends and family. Like I'm just pushing everyone aside, and I'm just going down this like tunnel. I know it's happening, but I'm not doing anything about it. So I say to people, what are you doing to fill up your watering can? How much? Where's your level right now? And I often start with using this analogy, and I say, if you think about your watering can, how high is your level? Where's your water level at? And we can break that down and we can talk about, let's talk about sleep. And I say to people between 1 and 10, how much effort do you put into making sure that you sleep your 7 to 9 hours? We go through food and we go through exercise and general health. Like when was the last time you had a checkup, male and female checkups, blood pressure, whatever it might be. When was the last time that you started putting effort and energy into your own watering can. And only then do we start filling that watering can that we actually have the energy to be the best version of ourselves at work, at home, in whatever capacity. But the hard truth is we've actually got to stop and reflect and figure out where we are at, where is our level right now. And it can be really confronting.
Yeah.
And sometimes we can stay so busy in life because we know that when we slow down, reality hits in. And it could be some really cold, hard truths. It could be emotions or processing stuff that we haven't in the past, things we're forgetting about and so almost keeping busy to ignore.
Yeah.
So it is really hard to sort of to self-reflect. And when I take these workshops, it is like there's a lot of tears that come.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people going, oh my gosh. And, you know, there's all these people around us. If you have children or family or employees, like you're their role model. People are looking up to you. And if you're not living a balanced life, if you're not stopping for lunch breaks and you're in senior management or a boss in a company, why would anyone else under you feel like it's okay to stop and actually have a lunch break?
Yeah.
So it's about leading by example and starting to realize what is the most the piece of the puzzle. You know, health, like you mentioned earlier, I do use the analogy of a puzzle where your health is made up of so many pieces, and you know, your hydration and your social connections is one, and your exercise is another. But what part of your puzzle piece is the smallest? What part do you know that you're like, man, it's my sleep. I'm getting not enough sleep, and because of that, I'm making bad food choices. I've got no energy to exercise. I'm snapping at my family, and my relationships are now strained because of that. So it's about giving yourself time to stop and take stock before those cracks appear in your watering can, before it's the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. So I use that analogy with my one-on-one clients, and I think that's really important, that self-reflection and being okay that sometimes we are really tired and we're not ever really batteries that keep going and going and going. So yes, I use that analogy quite a lot. I have the pleasure in working with so many different age groups. I love it.
Yeah, it's so cool.
I've got this, I've started, again, everything has been organically started. Like I didn't mean to start a business. I didn't mean to start an over 60s exercise class. I just had a lady in her 70s say, look, do you do exercise for over 70s online? I said, no, but I was like, I'm sure we could start one.
Yeah.
Sure enough, I started one class and I used to get like 6 people, and now I run 6 classes a week with probably 150 people that come each week.
Crazy.
Because organically, if you're authentic, if you are realistic, if you are creating a really positive environment where people feel like they're succeeding, that they're progressing forward, that their goals are being achieved, things naturally will grow. My first boot camp, for example, I had 2 people turn up 3 years ago, and now I have 70 people turn up. Yeah. And if I'd given up because the bad monkey was saying, oh, you failed at this, Alicia.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing and helping all these people. Like, it's hard. Like, life is hard. And I guess that's another reason, like we talked about, why people, sometimes we got to put in the hard yards and fail. And that's okay. Some things won't turn out. That's all right.
Yeah. And that's what we're scared of, though, eh? It's like we're scared of it not working, or we're scared that we won't reach what we want to reach and achieve what we want to achieve, and that's what stops us from even giving it a go. Like, it could have been so easy for you to have 2 people turn up to your boot camps and go, well, this isn't worth it. I know we're over 100 episodes now on this podcast, which is ridiculous, but like in the first 10 to 15, I was like, who's listening to this? But mom and dad, thank you, mom. But it's like, it really is like that. It's like, you can't, if you've got something to go for, not letting external noise shut it out,
And that whole being authentic. Like I've had some students follow me for like their careers, what's it called, work experience, have
Yeah.
followed me around. And I've had other people who are personal trainers reach out to me and said, look, how do you grow a successful business? How do you grow big groups? And I said, you just be yourself.
Yeah.
People will connect with you. If you try and copy what someone else is doing, it's really easy to see that, and people won't be able to connect with you.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to share your highs and lows, and that's what I do on social media too. Like, there's so many things. Gosh, you sit there and scroll through social media, and especially AI. Like, there's so many perfect things out there. You don't often see hard things or people struggling or not perfect things, and it's just again, it's making. If you ever follow someone that makes you go, oh my gosh, I feel really, really average about myself. I don't feel like I'm worthy enough or fit enough or pretty enough.
Yeah.
Don't follow them. And that's what I did. I went and got rid of everyone that makes me not feel worthy or good enough. And I'm like, I'm just going to share my highs and lows, and people can actually connect with you. Share your grieving stories, share your hard times, because then it makes people also feel okay and feel normal when they have experienced or they're going through those things as well.
Yeah.
It's people online or your friends or family.
Yeah.
They're willing to open up and just realize we're all human.
Well, that's why I think you've probably been as successful as you have been, and why, I mean, your page has come across as really organic is because, yes, there's the brand, motivating me, but then the brand is it's you, and people are seeing you. People are seeing Alicia, the highs and lows, and people. I think someone who's also in business was on our podcast a while ago, and they talked about how, well, she's got a podcast, she's got a business, and she talks about how my business really did well when I started putting me out there.
Definitely, and that's also comes with its highs and lows as well.
Yeah.
And I guess making sure that you protect yourself as well. Like, like I share a lot. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about vaccinations. I don't talk about finance. I don't share my children on social media, and my husband very seldom as well. But I share things that are relevant, and I feel like they will help people. And I think if you share information that that if you had heard it would have helped you, I think it goes a long way. And that's how people want to feel like they're connected. I think in society you want to feel like you're contributing to society and that you're connected to society. And I think that's the two driving forces that I've noticed in the years of doing what I do, is that's what helps people mentally, is that feeling like they've got a purpose, feeling like there's a reason to get up each day. We're social beings wanting to feel like we're belonged. And sometimes if we're just ourselves, people will accept us for who we are. If we try and change who we are, we'll try and chase some other business pattern, or, yes, have role models or have people that inspire you, but don't try and be someone you're not. Be yourself and people will follow.
Yeah, it's so good. And I think that's what people want, especially I think the fitness and health and wellness journey is a really deeply personal and vulnerable one. And, that's why I think people probably connect really well with you, is that because it is when you sit down with someone and share your goals and your desires in terms of your well-being and the things that you're maybe not doing well, bad habits, whatever it might be, it's a very vulnerable process to go through, and I think that's probably a key part of your kind of brand, but also your process is like, let's connect on a human level. This is who I am. This is what I've journeyed through, and this is what I do. And it's kind of like I like the saying, it's really hard to lead people places you're not going or haven't been yourself. And I think that's kind of what you draw on, eh?
Definitely. And that we talked about that progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Like, I love wine. I love going out late nights. I love takeaways and cheese. I don't lead a perfect life.
Yeah.
And I never want to lead a perfect life. I never want to eat just clean greens and no carbs, no sugars. And for a realistic, balanced life, I role model that as well. Like, I love going to Electric Avenue for 2 days and partying with my friends.
Yeah, nice.
And I think that relates too, is that when we when we want to, I think with health and fitness, a lot of people think it's all or nothing. Like you have to be all in or you're not at all. And again, that's another thing that can trip us up, where if we miss a day or we have takeaways or have whatever, some unhealthy food, bad food, which is such a bad label because then you feel bad for eating it. Again,
Totally.
the self-talk around that food, that you have to, if you have to earn food, if you're telling yourself, I've just gone for a run, I've earned my takeaways.
So bad,
Change that mindset. Yeah. So like for me, I look at a 80-20 balance in my life. 80% of the time I eat healthy, 20% of the time I don't, but I eat small portions. I don't overindulge, because it's not the last time we're going to have takeaways. It's not the last time that you're going to have chocolate cake. If you tell yourself, I'm going to actually remove the guilt from food, and there's so much talk, like food talk when we eat. If we're like, man, food is one of life's pleasures. Let's look at the reason why food is invented, to keep us going. Food is one of life's pleasures. Let's enjoy it and not go without. Because as soon as you say to someone, or like you say to a child, don't touch that, the child will go and touch it every time. So if you say to yourself, I'm going to have no rest days, I'm going to train every day, or I'm not going to have takeaways at all, I'm going to cut all my alcohol out, we're going to want it more, because it's like, So I guess too is finding that balance, and not following other people with fitness and also food too. Like there's all these crazy diets, and I talk about earlier about listening to your body and listening to, and your body's telling you that you're run down, you've got a niggle or there's something going on with your health. Listen to it, but also listen to your body when you eat food that agrees with you, and vice versa. If you're eating food and you're not feeling well from it, it doesn't matter whether it's keto or all these different fad diets. Listen to your body, not what your neighbors or your family or friends are doing.
Yeah.
How do you feel after you eat that food?
Yeah. It's so true. And it's also like you say, a comparison is the killer of joy. It really does. And that's not to excuse, consistently choosing, poor food or no exercise, but like, it really is like, I've got a work colleague who is a legend, and keeps talking about, let's go to the gym. And I really want to go to the gym. I want to get back into the gym. But now that he started asking me, let's go to the gym, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm worried he's going to show me up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so weird how our mind is so connected to our physical well-being. And I guess that's why we call it whole water, right? Like it's all encompassed. How much of that for you with motivating me? Like, I know a lot of your background, things like diet and physical exercise and things like that, but have you really had to like upskill in terms of mental health training and coaching and things like that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think like looking back over my journey, I have seen various counsellors, and when you turn, like a lot of my work through like being a teacher and then PE and health, and then following that, learning about the mindset and psychology, and learning about that, and then also putting my experiences, and of course now I work with people, what they've gone through, drawing on those. It gives you such a bigger picture. And one thing I'm really transparent with is like I'm a life coach, and I motivate you to move your body and look after and make the most of each and every day. And I think too, not trying to be someone who you're not. Like I'll say to people, look, I'm not a physio.
Yeah.
I'm a nutritionist. I am not a psychologist. I'm not your doctor. You need to go and see those people. But when it comes to finding a pathway which is realistic and listening to your body and going down the physical lines and how is the best way to tackle that, I'm here to help you. I'm here to motivate you and see some progress and see you slowly climb those 20 rungs to reach your goal. And it might take time.
Yeah, I love the 20 rung analogy. Do you find being a life coach, that's how you frame it, is there a stigma in that? Like, if you had to really like push against, not that you would say don't go and get, you just said it, go and get professional help and advice and things like that. But I can imagine there is a stigma in that world when it comes to people in your position.
definitely. Yeah, people, it's the whole thing with when things are thrown out there so much, it can have a real negative input. Um, I say life coach, but I probably, that's why I'm called motivating me. I'm here to motivate you, whether it's whatever aspect, because I think life coach can, and I guess it comes back to your past experiences and what you've heard or what you've gone through. That is the judgment that the judgment or the ideology we put behind the labels, I guess. And I guess we all need coaching. We all need coaching at some stage. So life coach, I don't think I've ever put that. I said it before, didn't I? But I don't have it on my social media. I said, I can do some one-on-one coaching is what I call it, as opposed to life coaching. Because it's just no one can tell you what to do. It's like the whole analogy. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Yeah.
I can tell you what would be some great choices, but when you work, like when I work with people or students, like I train a lot of the top sports teams here locally with their fitness, like I can encourage and motivate you, but in the end of the day, good monkey, bad monkey, it's how you apply yourself. I can't make you healthier. No one can make you fitter. There is no quick fix when it comes to fitness.
Yeah.
Nothing. You can't quickly get fit. Every other aspect in your life and out there is quick fixes. There are quick things that can happen quicker and people can do things for you. When it comes to fitness, it's elbow grease, consistency, and bloody hard work. Failing, getting up and going again. Like imagine, children, like they learn how to walk. They fall over. They fall over. When they're toddlers learning how to walk, imagine if they never got up and tried to walk again. Like we've got this instilled as a young baby where we didn't give up.
Yeah.
Unless we've got something physically wrong with us, we did keep getting up when we fell over when we were learning to walk, didn't we? Like unless there's something structurally or physically wrong with us, we got up and and eventually we started walking. Why is it that when we get older, when things get tough, we don't get back up?
Yeah.
Fear of being judged. Yeah.
So true. How do you you talked earlier about setting the example and walking the talk and things like that. I mean, I think of your own journey and, you've talked about some of the obstacles or the trials you've gone through and how it's shaped you and molded you. And I really like the reminder, like there's always a light in the dark space, or there's always a silver line, and you like you say. But you are juggling, and I say juggling in a kind way, you've got 5 kids, you've got your work, you've probably got lots of other, you're fielding off podcast requests, you've got so much going on. You've had burnout, physical burnout, you've had mental burnout. How does Alicia keep going? What is it for you that when you're in those moments of, I don't want to call them despair, but do you know what I mean? You're in those tough little seasons. What's it been for you? Has it just been listening to the correct monkey more so? Really, what is it that's kept you driven and outward facing?
So when I was 18, I went through I was dating a guy for a year and he was tragically killed when I was 18 and he was 19. And
wow.
that was really, really, really hard. But do you know what? That has made my drive. I drive each and every day. That is my drive, is that I was really down and really struggling then. And the reason why I talked about this, in the darkest of nights, during that time when I heard the news, I had family visit and one of my cousins came round. I should tell her this. I don't think I've told her this. She came round with a card that was black. The front of it was black, and there was this tiny yellow dot on the front of it.
Wow.
And I turned it over and it said, even in the darkest of nights, somewhere a star shines bright. And I've taken that through all my darkest days. It's sometimes it's so hard to see that light. And even no matter what you're going through, there is something, it could be the fact that you've got coffee you've got coffee at home.
Yeah.
You've got, like, that's how
Yeah.
simple. Like, sometimes we feel like when we have to focus on the positives, it has to be this massive positive thing. It could be the fact that you turn the light switch on and you've got enough power, but to light up the house, or you've got hot water. Like, focusing on that small thing has helped me get through those really tough times.
Yeah.
And through numerous things, losing dad, going through divorce, my Achilles. It's just that it will pass. Time, it will pass. Everything will pass with time. And I guess it's being in that moment when things are really tough, is that this is the tough, like when you're in the thick of it, it will get better. It will get better when you reach out to people, when you focus on those small little wins. And if it's regarding grief, like, another thing that I think is really powerful is when we go through grief or a really hard time, if you think about your life like a dinner plate, a circular dinner plate, when we're really struggling in life, whether it be grief or whatever it might be, mental health, like, your whole dinner plate is consumed with that grief. You are living every second of the day you're struggling. But in time, like, your grief will never get smaller, but your life grows beyond that dinner plate. And there'll be pockets where you return to that hugely powerful, overwhelming sense of grief. Like, you'll pop back into this dinner plate. But as your life gets bigger, you spend less time in that dinner plate. But it'll never go away fully, but you have a bigger life that, I don't know, like, you just spend less time in it. And I think that has helped me so much, because between that and, I guess, reaching out for help, knowing that I couldn't do my job if it wasn't for my husband being so, like, him making sacrifices, the children having to all work together, me having to say no to people as well. And again, prior to snap my Achilles and glandular fever and pneumonia, I was saying yes to every PT. I was saying yes to every single time someone knocked on my door. We can't. My watering can was low. Identify where your watering can is. How do you fill it up? Sometimes saying no. Respecting your time, respecting your own energy.
Yeah, it's so true, eh? Yeah. Your body is kind of like, you've only got one, and everyone wants a piece of you in different ways, but at the end of the day, like, you're the one that has to go home and deal with the consequence of what you're doing to your body, physically, mentally, whatever it is.
And it's the boundaries and the respect.
Yeah.
Like, if you respect your time, you respect if you respect yourself, people will start respecting you. But when we aren't respecting ourselves, you can't expect other people to as well. So saying no is actually powerful.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Oh my gosh. Like, honestly, I could talk for hours and hours about this stuff. Let me ask you this, before we kind of land the plane here, like, for people that are listening to this, who, even like me, who want to do something now, and we've talked about a lot, and some really good analogies, measurable goals, the many rungs on the ladder, the monkeys, things like that. But what's something practical, apart from going and signing up on Motivating Me and getting involved, which we'll talk about? I'm keen to plug it. What's the little things that people can do now that aren't dramatic, that don't feel like it's going to be too hard to do? I'm talking to the 19-year-old single person with all the time in the world, to the mum with 5 kids who has no time. What are the little things people can do now? And this is probably a really hard question to answer well, but like, what is those little practical things they can do right now?
First of all, don't wait for the perfect time. There's no perfect time. So start now. But where we start is tiny, tiny micro steps. Identify your puzzle. Look at your puzzle. Look at your life right now and identify the part in your life, your puzzle piece, that is the smallest. And then just work on one thing. Just work on one thing. Don't try and overhaul your diet, your sleep, your exercise, everything. Focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Focus on the smallest puzzle piece. And
Yeah.
with that, you'll have that sense of achievement. You set small goals.
Mm.
Keep reminding yourself the analogy of those tiny, small steps, because eventually you'll get there. Don't trip up and don't give up on that first step. Because remember, if you fall back and you're taking small steps, it's easy to get back up the
Yeah,
ladder.
yeah.
And you've learnt the lessons. Take the lessons from when you fail.
Yeah.
It's okay. Comparing yourself to other people, your past self, you're setting yourselves out to fail before you've even started.
Mm.
Small steps, progress.
Yeah. No,
Walk's better than no walking.
totally. I really love that. It's just so achievable. What's that for you? Like, just curious. I know we're kind of trying to wrap it up here, but like, what's that for you? I mean, feel comfortable sharing what you want, but what's your next little micro steps? What's a couple of those things for you that's in your ladder right now that you need to step up on?
Yeah, my running has been on and off.
Mm.
I would like to start pushing out a few longer runs. In regards to my physical, I like play disc golf too.
How
Just,
good? Me too.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hey,
I love a good forehand. That's my favorite type of shot.
Yeah, so like there's two physically for me is I want to start pushing out slightly longer runs, not like I used to, like trail runs, but and I'm sponsored by RPM Discs and I really want to.
Hang on. You're sponsored by RPM.
Yes.
Are you quite good at disc golf?
No, but I'm trying to get better.
Okay. That's awesome though. How good is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I mean, I love disc golf, so I'm a bit of a disc golf nerd. But anyway.
Yeah.
So
I know.
good.
It's well, the whole thing is when I snapped my Achilles, just jumping back a few stories.
Yeah.
When I snapped my Achilles and I was doing lots of running, I was like, man, and my husband ran off and bought me, because I love pink discs, he went and bought me a pink disc. He's like, when you get better, you'll be able to throw this. And
Love
that
it.
was my goal, to get better. That was what was at the top of my ladder.
Yeah, so cool.
It felt so good when I threw it. I had to adapt it. I couldn't do the cross step. I had to adapt.
Yep.
Body. But yeah, and then the whole thing is my goalpost changed. I went from focusing on like high intensity training to a slightly different thing, which I didn't know I was going to start. But yeah, so from there, definitely playing more disc golf, getting the children involved, and with my business too is helping more people feel okay where they are right now, and supporting and motivating them to make some healthier choices so they can live a long and healthy life for as long as they can, because tomorrow's not promised to neither you or I.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that. It's really cool and it's so true. For people listening to this right now who feel like, hey, I am motivated, I want to do something, but I actually want to do something practical and actually want to check out your stuff and maybe sign up to your programs. Why don't you just like give us a plug on terms of where they can find you, what they can sign up to? I know this feels weird, might feel weird to brag and sell, but hey, there's going to be people listening to this that want to know. So yeah, where would you send people to get involved in the stuff you've got going on?
Yeah, cool. So I keep it really cheap. It's like $8 a week, because again, I want to help as many people. I'm a busy person. Most people are really, really busy, so they're time poor. I've got home workouts where you literally just press play and they're 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And I've got myself and 4 other instructors. I've got a guy who's used to work with the Warriors and the Crusaders, is one of my high intensity cardio instructors. I've got a yoga instructor who's been taking it for 12 years.
Wow.
Right down to beginning standing up with cans, like out of your pantry, just little small movements. So irrelevant where you are in your fitness and health, your limitations, we've got every single workout you can think of from beginner to advanced, core, boxing, cardio. And it's a free 7-day trial and like literally $8 a week. And if you join for 6 months, it's like $5.80. You can buy a coffee for the price. So, and also on that, I post, I do a weekly email. I do recipes that are really quick, fast and easy, and free exercise programs so people know where to start, because quite often you jump online, but like, where do you start? What is a beginner? And I also do free running programs because I want people not to burn out and build up slowly. So that's all part of the complete wellness package. And you just head to motivating-me.com and follow on Instagram or Facebook or my website, and you'll find me there.
So good, so good. I mean, I think me and Ryan here are gonna have to sign up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm actually dead serious. Like, man, it's literally been what I've been like stressing about lately. Is I'm back teaching and I'm loving teaching, but like my physical fitness and my eating has gone out the door because I'm back in the classroom, and so yeah,
And when it's like 10 minutes, you don't have to worry about
no,
childcare or travel.
yeah,
And it's the comfort. So if you're not confident to go to a gym, you're literally in your lounge,
yeah,
and as instructors, like we're all juggling. I've got like a pile of washing behind me. I'm like, hey, don't mind my washing behind me. I'm just gonna I procrastinated. I've got to record this. Like we're not in some big studio, which
yeah,
we're just people like you guys just squeezing
so
in
good.
exercise.
Yeah. Oh, so encouraging. I hope people listening definitely go and check it out because it's definitely worth it. And like we've talked about, you've got one body. Let's look after it, eh? Well, Alicia, thank you so much for giving up your time. I know that you've done things like this, but I've found it really encouraging for me, and I know that for people listening, physical fitness, mental and emotional well-being, all that's on our minds a lot. And yeah, I think there's been some real fun gems in this, and I really appreciate you being open and honest about your story and sharing where you've come from and like what you've journeyed through. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
It's been a pleasure, and I think too, being able to just speak off the cuff and look at the tangents we get down, and hopefully we have maybe just sown a wee seed to a couple of people's little minds.
That's why there's no script. We'll just see what happens. Hey, so good. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thanks. See ya.